It's a blessing to welcome on one of the stars right now this past season. He's a top 15 scorer in the entire country right now. Obadiah Noel. How you doing, man?
I'm good. I'm good. Glad to be here.
Absolutely, man. Well, as I just said, you're putting your name in front of some of the most elite scoring categories, averaging over 20 points per game right now. Take us through the season so far and how you're feeling about it.
I feel pretty good. With everything going on, this being a COVID season, um, I'm proud of myself and my team, what we've been able to accomplish so far.
Mhm.
Um, so I'm glad to be where I'm at, top 15 in the country in scoring, able to succeed through all of this, going in shutdowns, pauses, and coming out and still being able to play my game and
Mhm.
get wins and stuff. So I'm pretty happy about where I'm at right now.
We know it's a completely different year. This protocol is constantly going, as you said. You guys shut down possibly one game. Next game you're playing. We know it's typical just injuries, make action throughout the course of a year. But you as a player and as a team, how have you guys got accustomed to all this? Have you guys got adjusted to it? Kind of take us through adjusting to this COVID season.
Well, it's just the biggest thing is just patience. Is just patience.
Mm-hmm.
Every like the good thing about this is everybody's new to it, so
Mm-hmm.
everybody they don't know what to expect. So it's like bringing like unity, like making everybody come together. So it's like I said, we just take it day by day. It's very new. Nobody expected this to happen. So yeah, I mean, it's just we just keep. I don't know. It's just weird. It's a weird season. It's a weird year. So
Mm-hmm.
I think my team handled it well. Every time we came out of a shutdown or a pause, we 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 won. So I think we're handling it well, and everything is going pretty smooth.
So when you guys have a case, you guys have to do close contact or whatever it's looking like, are you guys able to work out at all in a gym? Do you guys stay stuck to you guys' rooms? How does that look when you guys do have a case within the program?
Yeah. So when somebody tests positive,
Mm-hmm.
the team has to shut down. So like nobody's working out within that week. Nobody's getting to the gym. So it's tough. So like when we really get out of quarantine, is guys some guys haven't shot a ball in a week, and basketball is all about rhythm.
Mm-hmm.
So if you don't have that rhythm, it's tough. But like I said, man, I think my guys, my team, they handled it well. And like I said, every time we came out of a shutdown or a pause, we won the first game, and it's a new challenge, but it's life as we know it. So
Without a doubt. We're going to get into the season and your college career in a second, but you have a crazy story because on the end, we're going to discuss your ultimate goals NBA wise. And originally, you'd think a guy that has NBA potential would be highly recruited coming out of high school. That wasn't your case. And you even had a player of the year, you won county of the year. You had a pretty good high school career. So just kind of take us through this recruiting process, being under recruited. Just what was this like coming out of there and dealing with the whole recruiting process for you?
yeah, man, it was tough, because I knew deep down in me I was worth more than one offer, or
Mhm.
having one offer out of high school. It was tough. It just it really tested my love for the game. After my senior year, I had no offers, and I was like, it's over. I was like, I had nowhere to go. Like in the basketball world, I was in a sense like homeless. Like I had nowhere to go. So I was about to go to a prep school, thinking about it's either prep school or JUCO. Um, but deep down, I knew I didn't want to go that route because I wanted to be like a true freshman, like all of that. Because I know down the road, I want to play in the NBA. I want to be young as possible going into that process. So I played AAU as unsigned senior, and luckily, well, not luckily, yeah, luckily by the end of this towards the end of the summer, like I went to a AU. I was at a tournament in Pennsylvania, and I don't know if you ever been to Spooky Nuke or
Mhm.
ever seen how they operate. They have like the main courts for like circuit teams and all that stuff. And growing up, like playing at U, I didn't play on no circuit team, so I didn't have that type of exposure. And like that's where all the college coaches were. So at Spooky Nook, they had the main courts, and I was playing like in the back courts, and there wasn't a lot of coaches there, just like D3s, D2 coaches watching me play. And UMass Lowell, I guess one of the recruiters, the guy who recruited me, Coach Lou, he just somehow like he seen me and started watching me play, and I looked good. And once he started talking to me after the game, and I told him my recruiting process and how it was going, like I had just D2s, D3s, and stuff like that. He was like, "Look, we can get you on this roster for sure. Like you, not knocking D2, but you better than you're better than D2." So, so it came in late. I didn't get to school till like August, I think, like the end of August. And it's just I took off from there. I told myself coming out of high school, like, I just need one opportunity. Any school that give me a chance as Division I, like it's over. Like I'm going to show them that I can play at this level. So that's how it was for me. And I always had a chip on my shoulder growing up because of that. And I know my story's kind of all over the place, but when I like growing up, I was like, let me see how tall I was. I wasn't tall. So like I was 5'8", 5'9" my freshman year in high school, probably shorter, honestly. And then like my sophomore year, probably like the same thing. My junior year, probably like a little bit taller. But after my junior year, that summer going to my senior, that's when I like hit my growth spurt. And when I hit my growth spurt, that's when things started taking off. Like my body started developing. I got a little stronger. I wasn't big in high school, but I got a little stronger, and I ended up being like 6'3", hit a little growth spurt, ended up being like 6'3" my senior high school. I got more athletic, and because I was smaller, I always had like a handle. Always had like do like the little stuff. So when I got taller, like all that just transferred over, and it was dangerous. Now I had a complete game. I can dribble, shoot, and now I'm more athletic. So, but now, man, my recruiting process wasn't the best, but it most definitely gave me a chip on my shoulder and gave me the edge today. That's why I play the game the way I do right now, for sure.
That's the crazy thing about your story. There's always underrated guys that have huge college careers and even become NBA players too. But a lot of them aren't in the area where you're at. You live in one of the more heavily recruited places. When you talk about Baltimore a little bit away from you, about Washington, D.C. a little bit, even a little further out there, we got Virginia. You're in this whole area that's one of the more, necessarily one of the meccas of basketball, and you still weren't able to pull in those offers. So what do you think kind of led to that? Was there a reason you think that college coaches told you that they didn't want you, or what kind of was your own opinion why you weren't a highly recruited player?
So, yeah, what you said is true. Like DMV, I'm gonna say DMV has the best hoopers in the country. Like the Baltimore area, DC area. But where I'm from Frederick, Maryland. So Frederick is it's a small city. Like not too many guys really come out of there, and not a lot of recruiters go out there to recruit. That makes sense. Like it's very like low key. Like a lot of people in Maryland never heard of Frederick, to be honest with you. So I was really under the radar, and like I said, I didn't go out and play for on a circuit AAU team. That's what most people from my city do who are like really good. Like they go out and play for I don't know. I don't know if Baltimore United is still in a circuit, like teams like that. Any Adidas teams, Team BB, I forgot the name of it, something like that. But so I just never had my thing is I just never had the exposure. Like I didn't play on the circuit. I didn't play for a name brand team, like a shoe brand team. You know what I'm saying? So that's what it was. But still, but still, like I still made noise in my city, player of the year and stuff like that. And it really did hurt me knowing I'm in the backyard of Mount St. Mary's, UMBC, and all these other local teams around me. It did bother me, but that's just how it is when you're from a small city.
I know another route some guys sometimes look at is going to one of the bigger schools, rather be in the closer to the city. You have a school that's somewhere nearby, like a DeMatha or one of those schools, or even going to a whole other state to a big prep school. Was that something that ever kind of crossed your mind? Did you ever consider taking one of those routes?
I actually did.
Mm-hmm.
Go to a private school. I went to St. John's Catholic Prep, not the one in DC.
Mm-hmm.
I've heard of the math, and my friend went there for a little bit. Um, the only issue with that is going to school down there is like transportation and how it's going to get there. But I most definitely thought about it. I went private school for a year, and my junior year I went to a private school. And it just wasn't for me. I'm not gonna lie to you, man. It was rough.
Mm-hmm.
So, uh, but nah. I mean, I did. My parents, we talked about it. Of course, money gonna be a factor. Like those schools are not cheap. You know what I'm saying? So
Mm-hmm.
I thought about it, but I stayed home and went to a public school that I've been going to for 3 years, and it worked out. It worked out. So I'm not even gonna. I don't have no regrets about what I did.
And it's always going to be, like I said, underrated guys. We know there's going to be guys now in 2021, 2022. All these recruiting classes will always have guys that have a similar story to you. So what's your advice to them? You clearly had a great story where a coach came in and watched you. We've heard that a few different guys, someone like John Morant even recently. But what's your advice to guys that are underrated, slept on, aren't getting the offers they deserve? How do you ultimately go through that and become a high-level Division I player, just get an offer?
Oh man, my advice I would give to them it's simple, but just to keep working, and there's always somebody watching. Like regardless of where you at,
Mm-hmm.
somebody's gonna notice you. And that's what my brother told me when I was going through that whole process where nobody wanted me and I felt like I wasn't being seen. That's what he told me. He said, look, like bro, just keep working. Somebody's gonna notice you. Like stay patient, but stay hungry at the same time. Like don't don't get too don't get too down to the point where you're like not working no more. And like when you patient, it's not just waiting. It's about what you do during that period. You know what I mean? Like you have to work. You just can't wait for something to come and not do no work. And my parents always tell me like faith without works is dead. They're very religious people. So just to keep working and don't give up. And if you locked in on something, you can do it. The same way you work, you got to believe. Like the game is just as important as it is physical as it is mental. That's what I learned over the course of my career. Like if you can put in all the work you want, but if you don't believe in what you're doing, it will never happen. So I would tell them stay patient and just to keep working, man. And anything is possible. And I want people to look at me and see that. And I'm glad you asked that question. So for sure.
And we're gonna go into each season a little bit more, but when for you personally would you say it finally clicked and you started realizing that not only are you a great player, you know you can become one of the better players in college, but also pro prospect. But when do you feel that also caught up to you with your game and you start producing at a high level? Like when would you say it kind of all came together for you?
I would say my junior year.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, my junior year was my breakout season. I'll say towards the middle of my junior year. At the beginning of my junior year, I started off kind of slow. It was up and down, up and down. Um, but towards the middle of it, I just became more consistent. Uh, I think there's a spurt I went on. I was averaging like 20 points, 20 points a game in conference. Actually, I was averaging 20 points a game in conference last year, and it just, I don't know. It just clicked. It just clicked. I was playing and I was scoring. I had one game I had 20. Next game I had 20. I was like, dang, like it's not easy, but like this is something that's doable. I can do this on a regular basis. You know what I'm saying? So
Mm-hmm.
I'll say my junior year, And there's a lot of things I can just say that, but there's a lot of things that went into that. Like it wasn't that easy. I put in a lot of work that summer going to my junior year on my jumper. That was my main focus, is to improve my shooting. And that's what I did. And once I did that, it just opened the floor for me. It just opened the court so I can, they have to respect my jumper now. So now they're out here on the island. I can go by them. That's my game. My game is getting to the rim, and I can draw fouls. So, and I got a nice jumper, a nice little pull up. So once I got the shooting down from like the 3-point range and improved on that area, I became dangerous. And that's when I started to realize like the game is getting easier for me now that I have more weapons in my bag. So it was definitely my junior year.
And we know for anyone that has a kind of season like you're having, you clearly have offense built around you for this year. Your ball coach obviously has to be strong. You just have to have a tight knit bond for him to be able to trust you and utilize you the way he does. Kind of discuss that. How have you seen your ball coach develop over the past 4 years, and how strong you guys are today?
Man, my coach is great. He most definitely molded me into the player I am. Since my freshman year, he's been on me and making sure I, I keep working and just constantly developing. And it wasn't easy. Like, he didn't give me a starting position as a freshman. Like, I didn't come in and just play right away. It was like starting all over. So when I had to start all over, it's like I had to find myself again, if that makes sense. Like I had to, I really had to start over like from scratch. Um, and this even gave me a chip on my shoulder, like to get more minutes and stuff. And as I grew and I developed, he started to trust me more. By the time like my junior year, the ball, even in my sophomore year, actually, the ball, like when the game was on the line, like the ball was in my hand since my sophomore year.
Mm-hmm.
So when he showed that trust in me, it just made me work harder just to keep that trust and for me to be able to produce and work together so we can win games ultimately. So our relationship is very strong. I have nothing but respect for my coach, not only my head coach, but all the coaches. Um, they all helped me grow as a player and as a person. So the coaching staff here at USLO is terrific. Top is really good. Top really good.
Is there a certain point that you look at that you kind of say you two really connected and you guys really, he kind of really started having that trust in you? Was it sometime during your sophomore year? Or when would you say was the moment you think he really started trusting you?
Mm, was definitely my sophomore year.
Mm-hmm.
Um, at end of the game situations, like I said, I don't want to feel like I'm talking in circles, but at the this like late game situations when the game's on the line, and that's when you know your coach trusts you when the ball is
Mm-hmm.
in your hand. You know what I'm saying? So that, and I'll say probably that was like the main thing that stuck out to me that showed that he really trusted me. And then also last year he made me as a junior, he made me a captain. We had like a lot of seniors on there. He made me a captain and he really wanted me to lead guys and be more vocal and stuff. So, but really my sophomore year, that's when that stuck out to me the most. But yeah.
Let's go into your freshman year a little bit. 12 and 18, probably not the dream season you guys wanted to have, but you come away winning freshman of the week 5 times. You also came away being on part of the all freshman team for that conference and on the honor roll. You had some solid numbers too, didn't start any games, but how were you able to develop and just take us through that freshman year for you?
Man, my freshman year was rough. Like looking back at it now, like wow, like sometimes I get on my computer and I just watch Synergy
Mm-hmm.
like film from freshman year. You know, I'm gonna be honest with you. I did not know what I was doing out there. Like it looked like I really had no idea what I was doing. I just out there just playing hard. You know, I just did all the little things that would give me minutes. A lot of people think college, like we just out here just playing. No, this is like a
Mm-hmm.
real system. And when you come from high school and you the man, like There's not really a lot of plays you have to run and all this IQ stuff you have to worry about. Like, you just out there just hooping for real. So when I got to college, I had to learn how to use a ball screen the right way, how to defend a ball screen. I didn't even know there's so many different ways you can defend a ball, bro. It's crazy. Like, I remember me and my roommate, who was also a freshman, we was talking about that. We were like, bro, like, this is crazy. Like, every week we was learning something new. Um, so my freshman year, it was good because I was learning something new almost every day, and I was just dedicated to just putting in the work. I just trusted my coaches. Whatever they told me to do, I went out there and did it. I didn't average a crazy amount of points my freshman year. I just found ways just to get on the court. If that was going in and trying to lock up their best player, I'd do it. If it was just going there, getting offensive rebounds, just getting rebounds and I don't know, just finding ways to win, like being a hustle player, getting the hustle points. That's what I did. And as the season went on, I started playing more minutes and I started averaging more points. I got rookie of the week a lot my freshman year, and ultimately ended up getting on the all rookie team. And off the court with the whole academic award I got, that year was tough too. That transition from high school work to college work is completely different. It's a completely different ball game. So, but I grinded it out and I worked hard and I got the help that I needed and I got it done. So for sure it was tough, but freshman year was definitely made me into the player I am today. For real.
Every college guy come on always talks about a certain time in freshman season that either they were pranked on or it's just kind of a funny moment you had that you either messed up at practice, messed up in a game of. What would you say that funniest moment was for you as a freshman?
Funniest moment as a freshman. Let me think, yo. That's a long time. Oh my goodness. Bruh. They made so my freshman year, we wasn't the only ones that had to do it, but still, my freshman year, in the summer, so you know how there's like summer session before school starts and stuff like that. So we went to Italy. We played in Italy, which was super dope. We played a couple of games, went sightseeing and stuff like that, and it was really cool. But on the bus, I guess we was going, I don't know, to go visit someplace, probably Rome or something,
Mm-hmm.
and or we were driving back from a game, I don't remember. But we had to do like stand up karaoke, like, and they're like, I think me and my roommate, we had to go first, and we're freshmen, and like we literally just met each other. Like I said, I got there late, like I committed late, like August, like it was very, very late. And like I just met him. We don't even know each other like that. And we are in Italy and we're trying to like find a song to play, like that we can sing together or something. And it was awful, bro. It was it was so bad. Like we did so bad. And the other guys did it too, and we got like the lowest rating and stuff. But that was kind of embarrassing. But I guess that's what you go to, man, as a freshman.
Would you say you have improved as a karaoke man now as a senior?
You'd be surprised, man. Like for people that know me and the people who are going to watch this, they know I sing or I rehearse like the same lyric, like one lyric from each song. I just say over and over. Like it's never like I don't know the whole song. I just know like one lyric that just sticks out to me, and I just say it over and over. And anybody who's seeing this and is going to watch this interview, they're going to be like, "Yep, he does that all the time." So yeah, for sure.
Absolutely. Well, let's go into the sophomore year. That's when you take over and you start all but one game that year. And you really do obviously up your game. We have 15 points a game, almost 4 rebounds, 2 assists, a steal per game. Really come into that kind of lane guy. And you also get player of your team during the tip-off classic for you guys. But that sophomore year, what led to that breakout and how'd you accept that new role?
Uh, so after my freshman year, our best player he graduated, right?
Mm-hmm.
So we have like a pretty much a new team, and we don't know who. At the beginning, we didn't know who the best player is going to be, and so the way I'm seeing it is like an opportunity for me to possibly be in that role. So the summer before going into my sophomore year, I knew what I needed to work on. I was tiny, wasn't strong, so I just put on a lot of weight. I lifted a lot that summer, worked out so much, put on a lot of weight, had a different frame, and I just went in with a mentality just to be that guy. And I don't even feel like I was really that guy on the team, like, even though in the situations, late game situations, like the ball was in my hand, just based off my natural ability to score. Like we had another player, another guy named Christian Lutete, who's like he's like a brother to me, and he was really good too. So it's just the opportunity was there. I just took advantage of it. I was playing a lot more minutes than I did my freshman year, so I had more opportunities to score and just improve on my average and other things. So I just had more time. So I would say, yeah, the opportunity was there, and I just took it.
That's a mentality that's hard for a lot of guys to get because we know obviously when you're in a locker room, you guys are your brothers, you're close to them. But at the same time, you also have the ultimate goal of playing NBA or playing at the next level. How are you able to kind of set that aside and say, to a degree, just worry about yourself in terms of kind of taking on that lead role and kind of compete for that job? How are you able to do that?
I don't really see it as competing with my teammates ever. Uh, I just know what I can do, and I just try to perfect what I can do.
Mm-hmm.
And I just try to work on myself. And I know the amount of work I put in the gym is going to show on the court. So when I knew I had the opportunity, I just worked on myself. I didn't look at anybody else. I wasn't comparing myself to anybody else. I just played my game and let everything take care of itself. And then having aspirations to play in the NBA makes me work 10 times harder, 10 times harder. And that's another thing that improves my work ethic. My junior year, literally every game, not every game, every day I was in the gym shooting,
Mm-hmm.
like every day. Even after games that we played, if I felt like my body was fine and I wasn't too sore, like I would shoot on the gun right after the game, wait for the staff, student workers to clear out the gym and stuff like that, and I would be in there shooting. I swear, like that's the type of mentality I have. And if there's anything, like I told me, asked for the advice. If there's anything somebody wants, you have to go get it. And me being from a mid-major, knowing that the odds are against me, like there's really no time to rest. And all I know is if I do what I have to do, everything's gonna take care of itself. So for sure, that's my view of it. That's how I look at it.
You just mentioned something that mid-major player is something that has almost started to become famous to a degree, especially in the NBA world, where we're seeing so many of these guys that aren't at the high major levels get drafted even super high or just end up panning out to become great guys in the NBA. And there's a long list of those guys. But you are in that same shoe now. You want to become the next John Morant, this next Damian Lillard, the next guy that makes that jump and becomes an NBA player from the mid-major level. But what comes with that? Is there a chip that puts on your shoulder? Like what allows you guys to be able to perform at a high level, even though really the odds aren't with you guys?
Most definitely, like you hit it right on the nail, bro. Like it, it's a chip on your shoulder for sure. You don't get the same recognition or exposure as the guys who playing for Texas and stuff like that, or these other high majors. So you know, going in, the odds are against you. So you have to produce at a high level at the mid major level. You know what I'm saying? Um, and and sometimes it can even like be harder when you're playing at a mid major school and teams kind of like lock in on you and stuff like that. And it's like, especially when we play high majors. When we play high majors and you the alpha on your team, they lock in on you. The game plan most likely is to stop you or just to key in on you. So it's to a certain degree, like it's harder. So you have to work. You really have to work and just be ready and be prepared for those moments. And I think the story is what makes it 10 times special. When you came from the bottom and you make it, that's what makes it special. And anything's possible. I've seen it. One of my favorite players are Damian Lillard, CJ McCollum. Like
Mm-hmm.
they went to, CJ went to Lehigh, and I think Dame went to Weber State.
Mm-hmm.
It, it's possible. So for anybody who going to tell me it's not possible, I'm not going to listen. It's possible if you work. And I'll watch a lot of interviews, watch them play, and I can tell. And based off what they heard, based off what I heard, they work. And sometimes it's just as simple as that. Just keep working and giving all you got.
And this is kind of jumping a little bit, but obviously we see mock drafts getting updated every once in a while, and we know theoretically they're pretty much all high major players because they don't really want to put the mid major guys yet. They don't evaluate like that. But your time to shine will really be when it comes combine time, when it comes to pre-draft workout time, making your name. So how do you go into those situations eventually when that time comes and it's after this year or whatever you decide to do to really kind of move your way up and outperform other guys supposedly kind of ranked in front of you on mock drafts?
Yeah, for sure. Like I said, I'm not gonna repeat everything I said, but coming
Mm-hmm.
from a mid major, you know the odds are against you, and the the biggest thing is to go in and play in front of these teams and work out and prove to them that you can play at this level and you can compete with the guys who come from these high majors. So
Mm-hmm.
that that's where the chip on your shoulder plays a big part in that process, and just knowing like you got to go, like you can't lack, you don't have that, like you got to be on your like you got to be on point, so yeah, for sure. Like when you from a mid major, you have to work hard and you have to perform, have to, for sure.
We'll get back a little bit into that in the end, but overall, then going to your junior season, which, as you said, was your breakout year. You make all AAC first team. You win two-time Player of the Week. Incredible season, 18 points per game, 5 rebounds, 3 assists, 2 steals. How was it just kind of embracing that and getting used to really being that lead guy and having it also produce on the court at a high level?
Yeah, when you finally feel like you're comfortable and you can play your game and you don't have to worry about anything else, that's when you can really take over and take that step. You
Mm-hmm.
know, so when I had that breakout year and everything finally clicked for me, now I can play the game unconsciously. I can I can just move more comfortably, and because of that, it made me comfortable enough to lead other players and be able to step out of my comfort zone and talk to guys. I don't really talk like that. You know what I'm saying? Like it took us weeks for me to get on this Zoom call with you. Like I'm not really a guy who looks out like who seeks like just want to go out and just talk to people. So,
Mm-hmm.
but as you grow, and this is not only on the court, it's off the court. You know what I'm saying? Just as a man, and just to become a better leader and help guys and being able to motivate other guys and get them going. And it all starts from being comfortable and finally having that breakthrough when everything clicks. That's when you can do all these other little things that make you an overall like great player.
Two games I really want to touch up on from last year. One, your 31-point game, Stony Brook, a big time game for you at the time. That was your career high and season high. What was that game like, and what went into that really your truly just breakout performance?
Uh, yeah, I mean, it was cool. It was cool to score 31, but we didn't win. And
Mm-hmm.
Stony Brook always been tough. Uh, I love playing against Stony Brook. I think at the time that's when Elijah was over there and all those
Mm-hmm.
other guys, they all left. But Um, it was dope. And then I think me and Elijah, we was going back and forth. We was going at it. So it was most definitely a great atmosphere. They had a good crowd. Um, it it would have been better if we would have won, but even then at that moment, like I realized like that's when stuff like it already clicked, but like now it's like okay, like you can play at this level. Not saying like average 30, but I'm saying like you can play at this level. You can have games like this, and it was a good feeling knowing that I'm improving and I'm seeing it and seeing all my work that I put in like show. So it was cool for sure.
I can imagine, especially once you did declare for the season, and you decided to come back, that there probably were a lot of schools that you could have obviously had an interest in, possibly go to. And you mentioned Elijah; he took his move, went out to Miami. But was that something you ever considered? Did you ever consider going up to a high major or leaving for a bigger school at any point?
You see, like uh, I'm big on loyalty.
Hmm.
Not saying moving up to a bigger school is not being loyal. Like you should do whatever is good for you.
Hmm.
Like whatever you want to do, whatever makes you happy, you should do that. But for me, knowing my recruiting process, knowing nobody else wanted me, and UMass Lowell's only school to stick with me and offer me, to me, it felt like I owe them four. I owe them 4 years. Like I have to.
Hmm.
If I wasn't staying in the draft, like I most definitely was coming back to UMass Lowell, man. I'm a guy. I'm big on loyalty, and what they've done for me over these past years is unbelievable, and I'm grateful for that, and I do not regret my decision. A lot of people try to get me to leave, encourage me to leave, and stuff like that, but this is my home, and this is where I want to finish my collegiate career. So, and that's what's going to be, and I can say I'm proud with that decision.
There was one other game from your junior year we want to touch up on, January 22nd, and you have a performance where you ultimately cross a milestone for you. You get a 1,000 career point as a junior. I think there's only been 16 or so guys that have done that before. How was that for you? Just take us to that night, learn that you got 1K. Take us to that night.
It was it was cool, man. It felt good. It felt good. That's another moment when you just like, wow, like all this work I put in is starting to show and pay. It's paying off. Like
Mhm.
the stats don't lie. I mean, I hit 1K, and the crazy part is, people was telling me I couldn't play at this level. Like this whole time, I'm not supposed to be here.
Mhm.
And for me to score 1,000 points and prove all those people wrong is just it made me feel good and accomplished. Like yeah, like I did that. You know what I mean? So it's it's a it's a it's a really good, it's a great feeling. Um, but yeah, I mean, it's good to know that you prove all the doubters wrong. Like I said, I'm not supposed to be here, and for me to do well at the Division 1 level is that's what it's all about, man.
On this year, we know the pandemic sets in, and you ultimately decided to go declare for the NBA draft. And we know this was not a typical one that every other class has always dealt with, where you could go through some form of process, you meet with teams or whatnot. This is all done virtually through a different way. How was this, and just what ultimately was this whole declaring for the draft process like for you in a COVID year?
So like you said, it was different. Not your typical usual draft process. So it was virtual. It was a lot of it was just basically Zoom meetings for me.
Mhm.
Uh, I met with teams, and we had good conversations, and it was cool. Coming from where I'm from and knowing not a lot of people have this opportunity, and I think honestly I'm the only person to ever test the waters from my city. Um, it, it felt that's what made it special. So just to be able to talk to teams and to know that there's some interest and they want to get to know me. It was a really, really, really good feeling. And my family was proud, my parents was proud, and I was proud of myself. And that's another moment when the work just paying off. So it was a different process, but it was a good experience.
You come away from that, you come back to campus for your senior year. What was the things that you either heard from them or you even personally just looked at and said, I need to improve on this so I know I can comfortably feel that I'm ready for the NBA the following year, or even if you use your eligibility rule, possibly in 2 years?
Personally, for me, I have a trainer back home who studies my game. I'm gonna go ahead and say his name, Arthur Claiborne. If you don't know, you need to know. If you're in the DMV area, get with him. One of the best trainers I ever worked with, if not the best trainer I worked with, and he watches my game, studies my game, and he he's seen he knows what I need to work on, what I need to improve on, and it was just like little things. My free throw percentage, had to work on that. My free throws, uh, defense, changing my scoring mentality, knowing Christian's gone, so now it's just me, um, possibly just me at the role of where I have to score more and put my team or take more shots, like just having that scores mentality, stuff like that, and just how to get to those shots, um, just stuff like that, and it's giving me more moves and things I can add to my bag for different type of game situations and stuff like that. So and then yeah, I'd probably just say that just personal info what I needed to work on. I got that from my trainer, and I knew what I needed to work on, like tighten up my handle and stuff, and being able to be a humble guard, playing the point and the shooting guard, making different reads when I'm in different roles. So it's stuff like that.
And then we come into the senior year so far. You guys are 7-9. Obviously, have dealt with the COVID year, the pandemic, and all that. But as we talked about earlier, you're having a huge year right now, in line to probably win Conference Player of the Year, in line to eventually become an NBA draft pick in a year or so. How are you kind of adjusting the rest of the year, though? We have still quite a few games, hopefully, for you guys. What do you want to improve on, work on over the next few weeks and the next few months of the year?
Probably just like leadership, just being a better improvement, like just keep leading and keep getting these guys to buy in to what we got going on. Like with this year going on, like this COVID year going on, and it's a lot of uncertainty. Like nobody knows what can happen next. Like we could be playing, and the next thing you know, we shut down for a week or something like that, and who knows, we not be able to play. And it's just like little stuff like that. Just keeping them mentally locked in, like knowing like we got to stay together, like regardless of what's going on or what's going on in the world, like we have to remember why we're here and stay locked in on this goal and just try to go out there and win. And I'll say that, like I said, the game just as mental as it is physical. I'm telling you, man, if you can get these guys to believe anything's possible.
In the perfect world, you guys have no more cancellations. You guys have just straight through the rest of the season. But ultimately, we know that come tournament time, conference tournament time, it's going to take you guys to be able to win the conference championship to go out there and eventually play in the March Madness tournament. And that's something that I think would be huge for you. Obviously, people across the world probably don't know you as well as a lot of high media people might know you. But you get to that level. Is there another level you think you can take your game to eventually elevate your team to possibly going for a March Madness run?
For sure. There's always another level I can most definitely tap into. But first I gotta get there. You know, we gotta win. We gotta win. Then when we get to the tournament, I have to bring out a whole another part of my game that a lot of people probably haven't seen yet. But for sure, most definitely, it's my mentality is most definitely going to change. Not saying I don't have a winning mentality right now. I try to do whatever it takes to win. But you know, when it comes playoff time,
Yeah.
especially for me being a senior, it's do or die. You know what I mean? So for sure, I can't wait, and I think we're gonna catch a lot of people by surprise. Our team has the element of surprise. Nobody expects us really to do any damage, and I think that's the beauty of it all. Just knowing you can surprise a lot of people and catch a lot of people slipping in. I feel like you have the team to do that.
Let me ask you about this. We know before the year, the big news that's still being talked about almost every game, everyone's talking about it, is the eligibility rule. You are a senior, but we know theoretically you could still come back for another year if you so wanted to. Is that something you will look into, or do you kind of plan to move on and hopefully go to the NBAs next year?
That's something I'm gonna have to look into towards the end of this. Well, the season almost is over, but I'm a talk with my parents and I'm gonna think about it. Just think on it, and ultimately I'm gonna do what's best for me. And if that's coming back to school, so be it. If it's not, then it is what it is. But I haven't really thought about that right now. I'm more focused on the season. So we'll see down like when it comes to that to the time to make the decision. I think I'm gonna make the right decision, and I'll be comfortable with whatever I decide to do.
Absolutely. Well, a few more things before I let you go. One of which is discussing your game. Because I said you guys are clearly on TV every night, and a lot of the world is not aware of who you are yet. We know you kind of as a guy that's super athletic. You're 6'4" guard. You have a pretty decent shot. Clearly, as I said, you're top scorer in the country right now. But how would you describe your game? And if people that don't know you, how would you explain your game to them?
Um, I would describe my game. I would say my game's pretty smooth. That's good. This is a good one. I say my game. I say my game's smooth. It's kind of relaxed, but I keep my foot on the gas. If that makes sense. Like, uh, um, I'm super aggressive. It may look like not. It may not look like it on TV, but like I'm going. I'm going hard almost every possession. I'm trying to win. Uh, I'm a combo guard. Like you said, I'm 6'4", athletic, and I'll say my game is very dynamic, very versatile player. I can affect the game in many ways. I can score many ways, and I can just do a lot of different things. So for people who hasn't seen me play, I don't want to say I'm a bucket, but like I don't like toot my own horn or talking about myself. But it is what it is, man. I'm just a natural scorer, and that's what I do at heart. I've been doing that since I was little. So, and I can be flashy at times, entertaining, whatever you want to call it. So check me out for sure. And yeah, that's it. I can also I have a really good. I can have a high IQ. I make right plays. I'm not selfish. I'm the type of guy that the game can come to me, and I'm just not in a rush. And when people see my game, it's just so composed and smooth. So that's what I go for. And if that's what you like, I'm the guy, I guess.
And that's the rare thing when we have a guy that's as athletic as you are. Typically, they're one of the more entertaining, like energetic guys on the court. They're always trash talking, having fun. But your guy's a lot more smooth with it. As you said, it'll be a simple move, and all of a sudden you just elevate on someone and dunk on them, or you just pull off a dunk. And most people would not expect that out of you. How have you learned to kind of keep the element of surprise and kind of pull off those kind of gliding dunks and kind of just not play with as much energy as some people might?
Yeah, that's just me. Like that's how I always played. Is I can have moments where I'm just a killer, like just going at your neck and just giving you buckets, and I can just have a moment where I'm just out there just dominating people.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the thing about me. You don't know what to expect. Like, man, he can give me 30 tonight, or he can have like 10 assists tonight, or 10 assists, 10 points, or something like that. It's with me, you don't know what can happen. I think that's why scouting for me and teams trying to figure me out is tough because I can affect the game in many ways other than scoring. And when you can do that, it's tough. You try to double me, I can find guys, and if you guard me straight up, just 1-on-1, that's what I excel in, and that's what I love to do. When I get somebody on my island, I just know what to do, just go to work. So for sure, it's just just I just do what I do. I can score, I can affect the game in so many other ways.
My final NBA question I want to ask you is, if I'm an NBA GM and I'm asking you, what will you bring to my franchise, to my team as a rookie? How would you answer that?
I would say I would bring my work ethic. I work hard. I'm very coachable. Um, I have good energy. Anything you need me to do, I'll do it. And I'll just say I'm just one of those guys who's ready. And if you want to take that risk with me and invest in me, you won't regret it. As you've seen over my college career, I've developed incredible, like crazy. I've developed a lot over my college career from freshman year to now. Yeah, everybody can see the big difference in my game. So, and that's just a testament to me working hard and my work ethic. So that's what I would tell a team for sure. Just, just that simple.
You have in your bio moving with a purpose. Take us through why that's there and what that means to you.
Yeah. So it's simple. Like just every day you should approach that day as if it's your last day. Like don't take anything for granted. If you're gonna do something, do it. Like I don't want like one thing my parents always told me is like whatever you do, give it your all. Like that can apply to anything, not even basketball, just schoolwork or I don't know, helping somebody. Like go half don't go half effort on anything. And that's the same way I approach the gym. When I go in the gym, I go to practice, I practice like I play. I just try to go all out. You never know. And just move with a purpose. Know your why you're doing what you're doing and attack that thing hard. And if you do that, you'll be successful down the road. So just give it all you got, man. Move with a purpose. That's what it means to me.
Absolutely, man. Well, one thing I was like wrapping up with is discussing your legacy, and it's something I know all guys want to eventually build for themselves. So when you are done playing basketball down the road, what do you ultimately want to be remembered for, and what do you want your legacy to be for what you achieve both on and off the court?
Um, I want my legacy to be like known for my passion for the game. Uh, Anybody when I'm done playing basketball, anybody who knows me personally or I say personally, growing up, I always been like a gym rat, always worked hard and always loved the game. Like, that's one thing I can say about me. Some guys hoop because they're good at it and they can make money. Like I play this game because I love it and I have the love. I really have love for this game and it's just my passion. And it's been like I've been like that since I was what 6'5". Like I just fell in love with the game and my work ethic is crazy. I love to work hard and I really put blood, sweat, and tears into this game. I want people to know that, like, if you want to make it, or I haven't made it yet, so I'm not gonna act like I'm there yet. But if you want to, if somebody is saying they want to get to my position now as a Division I athlete playing at the highest level, is that my passion is what got me here, my work ethic and things of that nature. So I would say my passion and my love for the game. And if you want to do it, it's not going to be easy. You gotta give it your all. Like I say this all the time. Like I'm married to the game. Like
Mhm.
I'm in it for like forever. So my passion for sure for the game.
Absolutely. And being a believer, I know you also are. So kind of just talk about your faith a little bit and how God's kind of helped get you to the point you're at today.
Well, first and foremost, I'll say this: I wouldn't be where I'm at today without God. Like my parents, they pray for me every day. My mom is a spiritual. Like she's as spiritual as it can get. Like she's a warrior, and my dad also prays for me a lot. And I grew up in the church, and my faith always been in God, and I know if whatever I believe in, and if I believe in God, and if I have faith in God, that He'll take me to places I want to go, that is possible. But at the same time, my parents are always big on faith without works is dead. So that's also a scripture verse from the Bible, and that's kind of like what I go off of, and kind of like my motivation. But me too, I'm very spiritual. I part of my routine. I wake up in the morning. I say my prayers. Call my mom. We say a prayer, or even like read a scripture verse together or something. Me being 7 hours away from home, so just doing stuff like that, and just keeping my mind right, keeping me spiritually invested, make sure I start my relationship with God, even though I'm far from home. At being home in Maryland, I go to church with my parents. Now that I'm far from my church and I'm at school, I'm not really in the church setting as much as I used to be. So just making sure I keep that relationship with God, and it's it's big. It's played a big part in my career. And like I said, if it wasn't for God, I would not be here right now. And I don't really earlier I said something about me being lucky or getting lucky with the whole UMass Lowell recruiting process thing, but in all reality, it wasn't luck, man. That's God. So I take that back. But like I said, without God, I wouldn't be here in this position I am today, and I'm forever grateful for him. So for sure.
Amen, man. Well, I definitely appreciate taking time to come on today, and I can't wait to see what God got next for you, man.
All right, man. Appreciate it.
Of course, you're always welcome on, man. God bless.